Hi, I'm Miss Armstrong, and I'm going to be doing the solutions for the adding and subtracting polynomials week 1 assignment. So we want to use algebra tiles for this. So back in Schoology, I've linked algebra tiles right down here, and when you click on it, if it opens up in Schoology, you might want to use your little arrow here and send it over to Safari or its own browser. And then once you get it to where you want it to be, you can click on the backgrounds, and we're going to choose the expression mat for this exercise, and then we're going to choose algebra tiles. So now we're set up to start our assignment, and we'll do the first problem. The first one is x squared plus 4x minus 1 plus, that's the first polynomial, and the second polynomial is 2x squared plus x plus 3. So I'm getting those from the PDF for the assignment. So we'll do those ones first. So x squared, there's one of those, plus 4x, so we need 4 of those. And then minus 1, so we'll bring this unit tile up here and make it negative. So here's the first polynomial represented there. And then we're going to add the second one, so we want to stay in the upper portion of the mat. We don't want to move down here at all because we're not subtracting. So the second polynomial is 2x squared, so we'll put 2 of these. And then it's plus x, so we have one of these. And then plus 3, so I need 3 of the unit tiles, and those are all positive ones. So now we're going to combine like terms, and so you can arrange these however you'd like, but these x squareds can all go together. The x terms can all go together. And the unit terms can all go together. Oops. But notice what happens here. I've got a positive one and a negative one, and so that's a 0 pair, and I'm going to remove those. And so now I've got the result is 3x squared plus, I think I forgot to bring over another x here. Yeah, it should be 5x there, and then plus 2. So that's what I'm going to write on my worksheet is 3x squared plus 5x and then plus 2. So the second one, we'll do that next on using our algebra tiles. We want to take this polynomial and subtract this one. This time we're going to use the bottom portion of that expression mat. So let's go back over here to Safari and we'll clear. I'm not even sure how to do that. Let's see. Clear tiles right up there in the corner. So let's start with, let's see, 3 x's for that first polynomial. 3 x's, 1x squared, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we have, that's our first, whoops, I shouldn't be doing that. That's our first expression, or polynomial, so we've got that. And then we're going to subtract x squared. So we're going to subtract an x squared plus x and minus 2. So we're going to take this and make them both negative. So down here where we have the subtraction part of our expression mat, we've got an x squared, an x, and a negative 2. Now to combine the like terms when you're combining from the bottom to the top, if you move one of these up, you have to change the sign on it. So this x squared here and the red one, the blue and the red one, they combine and make a zero pair. Let's see, how can I? And so they will have to get taken off the mat. When I move this x up here, that becomes negative, so I'm going to move one of these down here, and together those two make a zero pair, so those go off the mat. When I move these negatives up, they become positives, so that subtracting a negative 2 becomes adding a positive 2. And so my final polynomial here, my result, when I subtract those two, is 2x, and then plus, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 unit tiles, so it's 2x plus 7 then. And you can see that when you look at this, we have a 3x and an x, and it's minus x, so that's where we get our 2x. We have an x squared, and then we're subtracting x squared, so those go away. And then we have a positive 5 and a minus a negative 2. That's where we get our 7. So because of that minus sign in between, we end up with 2x plus 7, and our x squared terms, they cancel each other out there. So you can think of this 3x plus x squared plus 5 as plus, and then change the sign on everything there. Negative x squared minus x plus 2. So if you want to think of it as changing that to plus, and then everything, we change the sign on everything here, just like we did when we moved it from the bottom part of that mat up to the top part. So number 3, we'll do that one next over on the algebra tiles. So let's go up here and clear tiles. And then let's see, number 3 is 3x squareds. And this is an addition problem, so we're going to be all in the top part of the mat. So we have 3x squareds, 2 x's, 2 x tiles, negative 5, minus 5. So we need to change all of these to negatives. And so that's the first polynomial. And the second polynomial is 2 more x squareds and minus 3 x's. So we'll have 3 of these, but they're all negative. And then plus 2, so we have 2 unit squares, and they're both positive. And now when we combine our like terms, we're going to have 5x squareds, it looks like. This x and this x here, the positive x and the negative x, those two combine to make a zero pair, and we can get rid of that. I guess I'll have to do it separately. And then same thing with this one and this one. They'll combine to give me a zero pair. Sometimes you can click and drag over them and it makes them disappear, but it's not working today. So that leaves us with a negative x term. So, and then these two can combine, and that gives us a zero pair. So we're going to take those off, and I can combine one more here. So that's a zero pair. So I have 5x squared minus x minus 3. So let's go over and see what that looks like on our worksheet. We have 5x squared. So that's the 3x squared and the x squared. And then we have minus x. We had just one red rectangle there, the skinnier one. That's a result of this 2x and this negative 3x gives me negative 1x. And finally, we had minus 3 unit tiles, and so those come from this negative 5 and this positive 2 combined to give you negative 3. So 5x squared minus x minus 3. Number 4, if we do that over here on our algebra tiles, clear the tiles here. This is going to be a subtraction, so we're going to start with the first one up here, and it's just 3x. There is no x squared, so it's 3x, and then plus 1, so we have one of these unit tiles there, and then minus a negative 2x squared. So we have two of these, and they're both negative, and we're going to be subtracting them. So we put them down here in the bottom part of our expression mat. And then minus 2x, so those are both positive. And then minus a negative 1, so that looks like that. So now when we move these terms up, we have to change the sign on them. So this becomes negative, this becomes negative, and this negative 1 becomes positive. So we have 2x squareds. We can combine these two. Those are a 0 pair, so we need to get rid of those. And here's another x and a negative x that we can combine to make 0. And so we have 2x squared plus x, 1x plus 2. So if it's just 1x, we don't need to worry about that. So we'll write 2x squared plus x, and then it should be we had plus 1, yeah, minus, yeah, that's right, plus 1x, that should be. And then, oops. Yeah, that's right. And then, let's see, for the constants, we have 1 here, and minus a negative 1 would be plus a positive 1, so you do get plus 2. So 2x squared plus x plus 2 is the solution there, which is what we have here. So we'll clear the tiles and start number 5. Number 5 is another subtraction, and we start out with negative 2x squared for the first polynomial plus x plus 1. So here's what that looks like. And the next polynomial we're going to subtract again, so we have negative 2x squared down here. I'm going to subtract negative 2x squared, subtract negative 6x's. So we're going to have all of these are going to be negative. And then, let's see, plus x squared. So we're going to put one of these down there. And then plus 4. So then we're going to move things up. And when we move up, we have to switch the sign. So these two can combine to a 0. And these two can combine to give you a 0 pair. When I move this up, it becomes negative, so I have negative x squared. These are all going to become positive. And there's no negatives to make 0 pairs up here with, so I'm just going to end up with a bunch of x's. So how many do I have? 3, 6, 7 x's. And then each of these, as I move them up, each of the 4 positive units become negative, and one of them is going to combine with this positive unit up here to give you 0, so that's a 0 pair. So I end up with negative x squared plus 7x plus a negative 3 or minus 3. So I have negative x squared plus 7x, and then plus a negative 3, or you can just say minus 3. Number 6, then we're going to add this time. So I'll leave you to fill in the, how do we get this? There's all my x squared terms. I have positive or negative 2x squared there. If I'm subtracting a negative, this becomes positive 2x squared, so those two cancel each other out, and then I just have the negative x squared there. So take a look at that, see if you can figure it out, and do it without using the tiles once. And then number 6, like I said, we're going to do addition. So the first term is negative 11. Whoa. So we have 11 of these, and they're all negative. And then plus 5x, we have 5 of these. And then plus x squared. This is the second one now, the second polynomial. Plus 4x. And then minus 2. So that would be like 2 of these negatives. Whoops. So it looks like we have 1x squared. We have these 5x plus 4 more. That's 9x. And then we have this negative. This should be a negative also. So we have negative 1, 2, and then 11 more, right? So it looks like we have negative 13 constant terms or unit blocks here, unit tiles. So that's how we'll write it. X squared plus 9x minus 13. So it's x squared plus 9x minus 13. So let's just take a look. If we look at the x squareds, we just have one of them. The x terms, we have 5x here, and we add 4 more. That gives us 9x. And finally, the constant term, we have negative 11 here and negative 2 here, and that just gives us negative 13. So when you're adding, it's like just combining all the like terms, gathering like terms together. I hope this helped.